Dr. Stephen R. Covey said that private victory precedes public victory. Private victory precedes public victory. So if you want to become successful externally, you've got to start winning internally. You've got to start winning those internal battles, putting first things first, doing the right thing. Bill Walsh said that winners act like winners before they become winners. You got to first see yourself as a winner. In psychology, there's a concept called deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is the idea that you have a clear future self. You can't actually deliberately practice, which is the way you become an expert at something. You can become an expert at anything, by the way. You can become brilliant at most things if you deliberately practice towards that thing. And what research shows is that in order to deliberately practice, you have to have a clear vision of your future self with the skills and attributes that you want. So private victory precedes public victory. You can engage in deliberate practice. You can develop incredible skills, but you got to start seeing yourself as a winner and start acting like a winner in order to eventually become a winner. Winners act like winners before they become like winners. So in this video, I'm going to break down two crucial aspects of success, actually more specifically, two crucial aspects of integrity or character, mostly integrity, that most people overlook. And if you overlook these two principles of integrity, then your life's going to be out of whack. And you're not going to be able to either create success or sustain it. You may be able to create a quick initial wave of success, but if you don't have these two principles of integrity, if you don't have these two aspects of integrity, then you're going to flush it down the toilet. You'll rise quickly and then plummet faster than you went up. And so I'm going to go ahead and share with you these two principles of integrity in this video, and I invite you to sincerely look at yourself in the mirror. One of my favorite quotes is, "All progress starts by telling the truth." You can't lie to principles. Another quote from Covey, he said, "You control your behavior, but principles govern the outcomes." You can't hide from principles. You can't hide from gravity. Eventually, gravity is going to hit you in the face and hit me. This is why integrity is essential. You can't hide from integrity. Integrity is essentially being true and honest with yourself. You can lie to everyone else in the world, but you can't lie to yourself. Your subconscious understands when it's being lied to. There's a great book actually on the subject called Raise Your Healthy Deserve Level. And it's essentially based on the framework developed by Dr. David Hawkins, who said that the unconscious will only allow you to have what you believe you deserve. And so Gary Cady took that idea a little further, and he said that you don't get in life what you deserve, but you get in life what you believe you deserve. And this deserve level, which is emotional and subconscious, is based on your integrity as a person. If you're out of alignment, if you have a lack of integrity, you can't lie to your subconscious. You can't lie to your emotions. You might be able to lie to yourself and try to justify it and try to, create swirls in your head and create webs of justification, but your subconscious, sorry. Your emotional sense of what you deserve, what you believe you deserve, that only skyrockets as you begin increasing your personal integrity. So again, in this video, I'm going to share with you the two principles that I want you to reflect heavily on. And once you start applying these principles, once you start actually aligning yourself and your integrity with what you believe you should be doing, and this is all personal. What success is for you is different than what success is for me. What alignment is for you is different from what alignment is for me. But what I know is that if I'm not aligned with myself and with my values, my principles, my vision of my future self, if I'm not in alignment with myself, there's nothing I can sustain, because then I'm at odds with myself. I love the quote from the Bible, "A double-minded man or person is unstable in all their ways." So once you start orienting yourself and making those adjustments so that your integrity is in a little bit more clear alignment with yourself and with your vision and with what you believe, sincerely believe, and with what you sincerely want and value, then all of a sudden, subconsciously and emotionally, you will believe you deserve it. And once you believe you deserve it, you will create it. Because the hardest thing for most people is not imagining a better future, it's believing they deserve it, subconsciously and emotionally. This is where most people get stuck. Most people can see a bigger future. They may even have the work ethic. But on the deep emotional, subconscious, and character side, their integrity is all out of whack within themselves. And so either they never actually live up to the potential that they had, or they quickly rise and quickly fall and never get to keep going up the peaks and up the valleys of transformational growth. So I will quickly share that these two insights on integrity I got while reading the book called Integrity by Dr. Henry Cloud, who is a psychologist. So these are insights I got from the book. So principle number one is this: If a person is out of integrity, then they're going to try to grow in intense ways in one area of their life, but they may grow enormously in one area of their life, but all of the other areas of their life are going to fall apart. So you can know that either you're out of integrity or someone is out of integrity if they're really trying to compensate, is the word. They're compensating for this lack of integrity, compensating for letting all the other pieces fall apart. And they really are trying to compensate by succeeding massively in one big area. It could be in business, money, in their physical body, whatever it is. You can know that you or someone else is out of integrity if they're overly trying to compensate in one area of their life and becoming successful or trying to succeed in one area, and all the other areas of their life, the key areas, start to fall apart. The flip side of this is that you can know that someone is in alignment and in integrity if all the core areas of their life are growing exponentially together. So as an example, your business is succeeding, your health is succeeding, your family is succeeding. You can know if someone is in integrity, like has integrity, if all the core areas of their life are succeeding together exponentially. There's a lot of research on this on a different subject in psychology, which is the research on passion. Passion in psychology has been broken into two categories. One is healthy and one is unhealthy. Harmonious passion is healthy. Obsessive passion is destructive. And some of the features of obsessive passion are that you are being emotionally driven by your passion. You don't drive it, you are being driven by it. It controls you, you don't control it. And it's very emotionally reactive. It's not proactive. And it's you essentially becoming obsessive about something to the extent of extreme unhealthiness, where you become so obsessed, you literally sabotage and destroy all the areas of your life to get some passion or some result because you're trying to compensate, because you know that you're out of alignment. You haven't resolved the issue internally. You're out of alignment. You're out of integrity. And so you're trying to overly compensate. You're trying to overly produce something. And what it ends up doing is that it ends up costing you everything. The opposite of obsessive passion, where you're out of alignment, is what's called harmonious passion. Harmonious passion is something that you're passionate about. It could be a craft. It could be a relationship. It could be a hobby. It could be your career. Whatever it is, it's harmonious because first, it doesn't destroy all the other areas of your life. You can know if something's obsessive because all of the other areas of your life literally get destroyed in the name of seeking this passion. Whereas harmonious passion, you can know if it's harmonious because all other key areas of your life get better because of this passion. Also, you are in control of it. It doesn't control you. It's intrinsically motivated. Whereas obsessive passion is extrinsically motivated. It's extrinsic. You're trying to prove yourself to others. It's not genuine. Intrinsic motivation is something that's genuine and internally aligned. Back to the Covey quote from the beginning, private victory precedes public victory. Harmonious passion is something you control. It's something that's harmonious with all the other areas of your life, and that by engaging in it, you become better, and all of the other core areas of your life are positively influenced by it. This reminds me of the quote that how you do anything is how you do everything. So the first principle of high integrity is that all of the key areas of your life are getting better together. Your family life's getting better, your health's getting better, your spiritual development's getting better, your finances are getting better. All the key crucial areas of your life are growing together. It's not one area that's massively growing and all the other areas are falling apart. Principle number 2 is the idea of rest and renewal. The idea of sabbatical, which comes from the same root as the word Sabbath. If you are not someone who takes regular time for recovery and Sabbaths, or taking time to fully recover. I love the concept in the 4-hour work week of mini retirement. Here's the idea. If you are only on go mode and you're not going on and fully off, and what the research in psychology shows, there's a concept called psychological detachment from work. And it's the idea that in order to fully engage and immerse yourself into a flow state, you've got to be able to fully disengage and fully shut off, turn off, not just mentally and not just physically, but emotionally in all ways. You can't keep having the pings and dings from the phone. You've got to actually go fully off, fully disengage to be able to fully engage. And if you're not regularly taking time to disengage from your passion or from your work and to literally renew, recover, and also get new insights, what this means is that you're not making space for number 1, recovery, but number 2, fresh and unique inputs. And because you're not getting fresh and unique inputs, kind of like new seeds into the garden, or new aspects that integrate into the system. If you're not taking that time, then you're mostly on output mode and your mental models aren't adjusting or updating enough. And so you're on a linear path. So another way you can know if you or someone you know is out of integrity is if their growth is more linear. It's incremental. Whereas if you have high integrity and you have, I'm not saying perfect balance, but you're taking the time to go off, to recover, to get new insights. You have high flow activities outside your work. You're fully recovering, and also you're letting new fresh inputs in, whether that be through travel, reading books, actually learning. Those new inputs shift your perspective. Those new inputs allow you for nonlinear exponential growth because you're constantly investing in yourself. I've even heard it said, applying the 80-20 principle, that you want 80% of your time to be rest, recovery, and learning, and 20% of your time on actual high-focused, high-flow output. And that 20% output is always at a really high level for one reason, because you are actually recovered, and for two, because you're constantly feeding the beast with new and better information. By feeding the beast, I mean you're feeding yourself, your mind. You're constantly adapting, adjusting, improving the model so that whenever you put energy into the thing, it's on a different level than you just grinding through it. It reminds me of the quote, I believe from Abraham Lincoln, but it could be different, that if you had 6 hours to chop down a tree, you'd spend 5 sharpening the blade or sharpening the axe. Sharpening the axe is the 80% of time when you're away, recovering and getting new and better inputs, new and better insights, so that when you actually go to chop that tree, you are totally immersed, totally in flow, and it becomes completely effortless and flow-based. So if you are increasing your internal integrity, what that means is that you're going to start growing exponentially in the desired areas of your life. Exponential growth. Let me go ahead and share my screen. This is just a picture, a diagram of what growth usually looks like. Usually on a growth chart, we see it in terms of a straight line, but the actual growth is more ups and downs. And usually the ups are what feel good and the downs are what we don't like. And when you're underneath this line, this is what we would call areas of development. This is where you're going through internal changes. This is more the private victories. This is the cause, by the way. The internal developments or like the team developments where you're really readjusting, realigning, are what lead to the public victory. So this is private victory. This is public victory when you're above the line. This could be learning, recovery. Whereas the top, when you're above this growth line, this is the acceleration. This is more external, more public. This is the effect, not the cause. And this is about applying what you learn, and this is more output focused. So you go through these organic developments, and the downs where you're below the line are what literally lead to the ups. This reminds me of a book called Peaks and Valleys by Spencer Johnson. And what Spencer Johnson talks about in that book is that, of course, we all go through peaks and valleys. And really, it's what you do in your valleys that determines the quality and size of your next peaks. And so it's during these periods of development that or even just recovery, getting new perspectives, new insights that allow for the exponential growth. So just to conclude with all this, the 2 principles are simple. The first principle is if you have high integrity, where you're increasingly having private victories, you're being honest with yourself. All progress starts by telling the truth. You're not trying to compensate. You've got more of a harmonious, controlled passion, a clear view of your future self, and you're actually taking on those private victories where you're overcoming weaknesses, you're overcoming flaws of thinking, blind spots. You're being honest. You're actually openly improving in the areas where you make mistakes. And also you're integrating new learning, then all of the crucial areas in your life are going to succeed. And this is key, that in order to genuinely be considered a success, you've got to actually have all the key areas of your life, which you define as success, growing together. I love the quote, no other success can compensate for failure in the home. For me, I've got 6 kids. I've got an amazing wife that I love. If I continue to grow as an author and succeed as an author, but I lose my health and my family, I could never consider myself a success. Principle number 1, if you have high integrity, all the key areas of your life are going to improve together. And if you're out of integrity with principle 1, then you're going to overly compensate and give up all the key areas of your life in order to compensate and succeed in one area that's externally driven, obsessively passionate, and ultimately destructive, leads you with and ends up with nothing. Principle number 2 is the idea that if you have high integrity, then you take plenty of time for Sabbaths. That could actually be the Sabbath if you are a Christian or a religious person, or it could just mean fully recovering, giving yourself space and time to learn, improve, adapt, and have high flow activities outside of your work and outside your passion. And so if you are regularly recovering and applying learning where you're constantly improving yourself and your model outside of work, and by the way, research shows that most creativity happens outside of work. If you're having peak experiences, if you're growing outside of work and fully disengaging and taking those Sabbaths or those sabbaticals and continuously updating the model, using 80% of your time and resources for recovery and improvement, that's the development side, and 20% of your time for high-focused, flow-based output, then you will improve exponentially in whatever it is you're going for, because you'll have not only more clarity, you'll have increasingly better resources, perspectives, models. You'll always be investing in yourself. And so principle number 2 is that the more integrity you have as a person, the more exponential your growth will be. I would say that this is a principle that Dan Sullivan and I are covering in a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X. That to go 10X, you've got to apply 80% of yourself to learning new things, getting new skills, and improving the way you are. And so 80% of your time and energy is focused on learning, improving, and developing new skills, capabilities, or just reflection, higher perspectives. If you are out of integrity, out of alignment, then you're go, 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 but your growth is going to be linear. You're not actually getting new models. You're not recovering. You're not getting better. You're working harder, not smarter. You're not sharpening the blade. You're not getting new perspectives. You're not evolving your thinking. You're just go, go, going. That's more like 2X thinking. 2X is doing more of the same. 10X is that only 20% of what you're doing, the best 20, can stay the same, and 80% has to become new and improved and adapted. So those are the 2 principles of integrity. 1, all your areas of life improve, and 2, you're going to grow exponentially the more integrity you have as a person. I hope that helps. Private victory precedes public victory. If you want to become successful, you've got to apply these principles. You can't lie to yourself. Also, down below, you can click a link to get the first free chapter of Be Your Future Self Now. It's free. Put your email in, get the first free chapter. This book will transform your life. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Have an amazing day. Cheers to your future self.